another edition of Speaking Of. I'm Steve Weissman, the Info Gov Guy, brought to you here from Holly Group World Headquarters. Don't get excited. No, do get excited, because today we're speaking of training and education, and I'm so happy to have with me one of the leading lights in all that stuff in our space, a certain Mr. Robert Bogue.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for taking the time. I'm really so excited to have you here with us for these few important minutes. Folks, if you don't know Rob, you need to. I've been doing training stuff for a very long time, and when I first got introduced to his stuff, it's like one of those internet things that says, you know, you've been doing X wrong. I've been doing training wrong, at least not as right as he does. So, Rob, again, thanks for being here. When we first talked in those dark days before MER, you very eloquently explained kind of your philosophy of what training and education should be all about. You know, I self-deprecate. I know it's more than just show slides and read them to the audience, which unfortunately is what too many training classes end up being. But I love the way you described how you get right to the heart of the matter. So uncharacteristically, which I can't seem to say this morning, I'm going to shut up and let you explain what it's all about, because it's just, take notes, folks. This is amazing.
Yeah, so first of all, a little bit of context. So I've been doing the development of educational material for a couple of decades. I've got I got author credit on 28 books and another 100 more that I've edited. And I've certainly seen my fair share of stupid, awful, want to pull your hair out kinds of training. And what I finally settled on, based on some of the research I was doing and some of the other folks that I talked to, is we forget that adults are different than children, and adults need to learn things that they think are relevant to them. And so we have to help make it relevant to them. We also forget that we are not rational creatures. We are emotional creatures who happened to occasionally deceive ourselves in our rationality. And so when you start to look at that stuff, you start to think about the way that you do training differently. If you've been to any of my sessions in probably the last 5 or 10 years, you know that I tend to use a large number of photos. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to evoke and connect an emotion to whatever the technical content is that I'm delivering. You'll also note that I use a lot of stories, because I don't know if you've noticed this, but the cavemen did not write words. They wrote in stories. Everything that we've ever had, Iliad and all the way forward, it's all about stories. And so I try to tell people some of these epic stories and connect it to the things that I need them to remember and to learn. And so that's sort of like super high level what it is. Now, how do you accomplish that? Totally different thing, right? So I truly believe in the power of asynchronous online learning. I believe in its power because I know that people can learn at the moment they need it, right? Again, adult learners need to be able to learn whatever they need to learn right now, in context, understanding it's now. And the only way that we can do that is to make it available 24/7.
Okay, so just to explain the term, in case there's somebody out there who's not familiar with all the syllables, asynchronous meaning you don't have to log on at a particular date and time. It's there for you when you're ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-guided, self-paced, those are some of the other words that people use for it, right? And so that presents a problem. If you and I are in a conversation like we are now, or if we're in front of a group, we get interaction, right? I can judge how well someone is learning, how they're not learning. I can answer questions, those sorts of things. How do you do that in a framework that somebody is not instantly and immediately available all the time? So I don't know, like, Steve, I don't know about you when you were in high school. When I was in high school, the math books always had the odd answers in the back of the book. So if I ever got assigned an odd question by my teacher, I always got it right. I don't know about you, but I always got it right. And so that's sort of the approach that we thought about. We have people do exercises, real exercises, not this, check the boxes kind of silly stuff. But we say, hey, what is this like in your environment? What would change mean? What are you trying to accomplish? All those really hard, meaty things. And then we basically give them the back of the book. Here are a couple of examples of the way people have answered this in different scenarios. And that allows them to check their own work and eventually end up with an answer that works for them. And that's super important to me because that's the way that I can help students learn and learn effectively, even when, I may be asleep. And sure, we have support and we have all the other things. You can ask questions. That's all built into it. But giving them the ability to control their experience and to ensure that they get what they want and that they can validate their own learning, I think that's super important. And I just don't think we do that often enough. And by the way, I think we should stop training people how to do sexual harassment. I think we should start changing those courses to be anti-sexual harassment because
I agree with you. It's like the sign on the highway that says "fine for littering." So I did.
Yeah, exactly.
But to your point about telling stories, I just found when you state it, it seems so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who has a cornerstone of his consulting business, me, when I talk about crossover to the whole change management bit,
Yeah.
it's like the only person who's really important in doing any of this stuff, the person who you need to do certain things.
Right.
Whether you teach them to do it or trick them into doing it, it's all about them.
Right.
And you put that right in the center so that when that person is looking for whatever help that they need, there's a context that they resonate to as opposed to perhaps some excellent academic high level, here's how you think about it. No, here's forget all that. Do this. Try this.
Right. Yeah, so two pieces to that puzzle. So first of all change, every single change is individual behavior change. I don't care whether you're talking about transforming IBM from selling hardware to consulting services, whatever. It's individual behavior change. And so you're absolutely right. You've got to get people to feel like they're in the center. When I'm talking with groups, I tell them that everybody listens to only one radio station, and they're like, "What?" Like, they're in Boston and I'm in LA, and I'm like, no. It's WIIFM. What is in it for me radio? It's all me all the time. And
that's right.
And it's and it is funny, but it's real. Like we have to know how to do things ourselves, right? We talk about Malcolm Knowles' work about the adult learner, and it really is about how do you relate it to me. That gets lost somewhere along the line.
Yeah, no, it does. As in, enough about me. What do you think of me?
Yeah, exactly. I'm fine, but what about me? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so we are recently back from MER, and one of the announcements made there involved you. Speaking of me,
involved me. Yes.
I'm role playing now. A new training and education initiative, really, that I know you're at the center of. We're already over time, but too bad. I want to make sure everybody hear right from the source. I'm going to of course his mouth and other body part. What is it and what's cool about it?
Yeah. So first of all, if you were to think about who do you want to learn from? Who do you want to educate you about information management, information governance, about records, or e-discovery? Those people, the people that you would say, these are the people I want to learn from. And whether that's Ann Snyder, Jesse Wilkins, I've got a couple of courses up there. There's some other people coming. Those are the people that we are going to have on this platform. And it's MER Immerse Online.com. And it is the kind of training that I was talking about just a minute ago, right? You get to learn, have an exercise, you have ways to check your answers. There's a quiz at the end, so you get a certificate. We actually have already got approval from ARMA for continuing ed credits. It's pending with ICRM, like blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like, it'll have all the stuff. But for me, the cool thing is we're going to have everybody well, most people, that you would want to learn from in one space. And we've never had that before, right? And so love what AIM and ARMA are doing, and I just don't think that they're filling the niche. So my friends at MER and I kind of put this thing together, and we're gonna try and get you the best possible training from the people you want to learn from in an engaging way at the time you want it. So MER Immerse Online. There is a code that'll be good until the end of June, which is Immerse Me 22, and that'll get you 22% off of any of the courses that are available now. And I'm sure we'll have additional launch things as we bring new courses online.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope to partake someday, both as a student and
I was gonna say you gotta teach. What are you talking about? Like, come as a student, sure, but
yeah. I was trying to be good, because as we've established, this is all about you.
No, it's not all about me. Not all about me.
Well, this has been really terrific. Thank you again for taking the time out to chat with us, folks. And I'm going to put in the notes the link and the code and all that goodness, so you'll be able to have that. Figuring you're not watching this with a pen and paper, but do take advantage of it. Honestly, and I was taught. Oh, well, Rob is so excited. He's. Oh, there we go.
You gotta have some puppy.
I got kittens all around me, but yes.
This is my friend.
Who is this?
Sam. This is Sam. Sam is an Akita Husky, and he is a great boy. He is not featured in the training. He is not although he will talk to you if you want him to.
I believe. Well, from all the viewers and from me, give him a scritch.
Okay.
Thanks again, and we'll see you soon, Rob, I hope. And folks, thanks for tuning in. Questions, comments, whatever. Let me know.
Criticisms. If you don't like the way we do my hair.
Put your contact information on there as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
awesome.
Certainly.
Terrific. Thank you. See you all next time.
Thank you.